Cameras are getting better and better at shooting in low light, but there will always be situations where it's just too dark. So here are 5 tips to deal with those situations and get beautiful low light shots. What's up everyone, my name is Jordi for Cinecom.net. Our channel is all about creative filmmaking with basic tools available. Low light situations can be nasty. You need to crank up your ISO, resulting in a lot of noise, but you don't always have to do that. Considering you're not filming in a cave, there's always some kind of lighting. The moonlight, the campfire, a party light, or some candles, you name it. And it comes down to using such light sources to get good results in low light. The first tip is to shoot dark. If it's a dark scene, then don't crank up your ISO, but just keep it dark. It's how the scene is and you want to capture it that way. This will result in much black area, so try to focus on framing the available lights. This works very well for long shots. Instead of framing on the subject, frame on the lights. What I often do is capture a scene completely out of focus. Objects like party lights or driving cars are still very recognizable and it adds an artistic tone to your shot. Of course, this is only possible for a few shots. You don't want to film everything out of focus. So in tip number 2, we'll have a look at the available controls on our camera. Assuming your aperture is wide open and your ISO is at its maximum usable value, then have a look at the shutter speed. We should keep this at 1/50th of a second if you're shooting at 25 frames per second. But in some extreme situations, you can change this, of course. I've set my camera to a slower one, a 30th of a second, which brings in more light but also adds more motion blur. If you're very conscious about the movement in your shots, this won't be that noticeable. Try to keep your camera still and make sure your subject is not dancing too much around. And then the third tip is to look for silhouettes or backlight. Film towards any available light and let your subject stand between it and your lens. Your subject will usually be pretty dark, but that's okay. You want to create silhouettes to capture the shape or movement of the subject. This works very well in many situations. Now, before we're going to dive into tip number 4, let's take a quick break for the sponsor. Making a professional logo animation can be tough. You need great knowledge of After Effects and a lot of time goes into it. Luckily on videoblocks.com we can find thousands of pre-made logo animations. This one right here has an epic look, which I like very much. With the included instructions, it's very easy to add your logo in the animation and render it out. Visit videoblocks.com for more information. You can also find a link to it in the description below. Welcome back folks. In tip number 4 we do look at the option to just add some more lights. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. But you know what, we'll keep it simple by just using a small and portable LED light. Typically such lights are attached on the camera. For some situations that's good, but in low light not. Light coming from the front is considered very flat, so try to find a way to let it come from the sides or the back. In this example, Janik is holding the LED light while I am handling the camera. And finally, the last tip for this video is to get as close as possible to any available light. The further away a light source has to shine on your subject, the lower its intensity is. So at a campfire, ask your subject to sit close to the fire, but not too close, of course. And what we did while shooting this after movie was standing close to any light we could find and take some shots from the guest over there. If you'd like to see the actual after movie we've shot, you can click in the card up there and make sure to thumbs up if you learned something new. Thank you so much for watching and always remember, stay creative.